Hi, great to see you again. I just wanted to give you a quick update on a course that I've recently completed for people looking to get started on the guitar. Now, it's 13 short chapters, it runs at just over an hour, and it covers everything from going to buy your first guitar to playing your first song. And I walk you through that whole process step by step, covering lots of the important topics that the beginner needs to know. Now, it's very straightforward to kind of watch it. You just click on that link down below, which will take you to my website, and you can watch it completely free. So you've got absolutely nothing to lose. Now, if you're a regular viewer to my channel, then you're probably already started and playing things already. But if you do know anybody who's looking to get started, then perhaps you could point them this way. Feel free to post any links on social media or anything like that. I rely on you good folks to kind of spread the word. So thanks for watching, and I will see you soon. People heading over to YouTube and finding one of their favourite songs and starting out trying to learn it. There are so many great tutorials to help you do that. And there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But my feeling is that what happens when you do that is you actually miss some of the fundamentals, some of the real basics, okay? So I always advise my students to maybe take a step back. They may have learned to play a few songs, but for example, they may not be able to tell me what chords they're playing or something like that. Well, that's not really the way to go forward. So what I advise in that instance is to take a step back and to make sure that you know all the fundamentals. No, I don't mean by that lots of theory or anything like that. I really do mean the fundamentals. From the fingerboard, okay? That's all it is, the action. That is called the action, okay? In other words, how easy it is to press these strings onto the fingerboard like that. So people say to me, well, what's the most important thing when buying a guitar? I'd say for the beginner, it is the action. Some people might say, oh, it's the tone. Well, the tone's more important further down the road, if you like. So I would say the two most important things you're looking for is the action's not too hard on your fingers, okay? And that it sounds reasonably nice to your ears. Okay, so let's take a look at the different parts of the guitar which we need to kind of know, because we're going to obviously be talking about various things and places on the guitar and stuff like that. So just in case, for those of you who don't know what they are, right? Now what you'll find is, with regard to this kind of angle, only trial and error really will tell you what is going to suit you best. And you will feel that when you're, say, playing chords. You can sometimes move the guitar towards you a couple of inches, a few inches, and you might find actually playing, it makes quite a big difference on playing the chords, the whole shape of your hand and wrist. So, or conversely, if you push the guitar away from you a few inches, you may find that it's a nicer angle for your hand and wrist. And all of this is worth bearing in mind, so just be aware of it when you're kind of playing your first chords. Am I as comfortable as I can be? Do I need to move it a little bit? A little more clearly, right? Let's just say with this first finger here, I want to play the third string. So that's 1, 2, 3 from the bottom. On the second fret, which is first, this is the first fret, and this is the second, obviously, yeah? So we're going to play this. Now let's just suppose we want to play that one note, okay? So first of all, we want to go as close to the metal part, which this bit here, as we can, right? So round about there. And what we're using is the tip of our finger, okay? Not the flat part here. Okay, so before we get started on playing chords, I'd just like to take a moment to explain a little bit about chords to you. Now, I often get asked which is the fastest or the quickest way to learn guitar and things like that, and it's kind of how long is a piece of string really. It's a difficult one to answer, but what I can say is that in my experience of teaching and things like that, that chords are in a sense the quickest way of making sense of the guitar. Yeah, I think as a beginner what you're ultimately trying to do is to get to a point where you're playing your favorite tunes and things like that as quick as possible. And so, but with that in mind, now typically when people learn a G, they learn this shape. Okay, I tend to play a G that way, which is slightly different. And the reason being that if you play a G like that, it's slightly easier to go back to a C. Whereas if you're like that, going back to a C, is more of a challenge. And these things are important when you're starting out, okay? You want the easiest way of doing things and just gradually get yourself into it. So that far right vertical line corresponds to the E. Now the next vertical line to it corresponds to the B. Yeah, and the next one corresponds to the G. Okay, so let's put it all together. Intro, verse, chorus, nice and slowly. All right, starting with C after 4 for the intro. 2